Hello, welcome to the KMTRADERS channel, and we'll be reviewing the Usdjpy pair in this video. It's just the analysis that we did last week, so we'll review what we did and how price actually did plan out for this week. Just looking at we're on the daily right here, and you can see all the key zone points and our trend lines. So I'm just going to jump straight into it. What we predicted last week, we partly made the right assumption, and we did predict the right move in a sense. If you managed to watch the video, we did make some profits around this what we predicted. So what I said in the last video, I'll just remove these lines. I showed two scenarios for where price would most likely to respect, and what we found was we started here. We started analyzing around here. Where was it? Sorry, it was on this candle here. So I predicted for an upwards momentum, some sort of price action where it would burst through this zone and retest here, and then we'd go upwards. So some sort of momentum like that. And then in the downwards direction, I predicted some for price to burst through the bottom layer and get a retest up, and then make our way down here. And I said that a take profit zone would be on this trend line. The downwards direction, it did actually happen. We did find our price action to burst out of one of these two levels. So price actually did close here and burst our zone here, and as you can see, we didn't quite make our retest properly, so that's why I didn't properly enter. But here we did get our proper retest. We definitely got a touch on our zone, and what happens after our exhaustion. So this would be our push, exhaustion, and this is our final push. So we did make our push, and entry will look something like this, something like that perhaps, and take profit would have been wherever at the time being the trend line would be. So I would have started to close my positions around here. If not, I would have moved my stop loss to this point here and made it a risk-free trade. So what prevented me from making further shorts after this key trend line push? So this was the push and then exhaustion. However, we didn't see any sensitivity or respect from this bottom trend line. So if we was looking for downwards momentum, that was an awful arrow, but I would have started to expect or want to see some sort of pin bar sensitivity along here, and price to move in obviously the downwards direction. And as we can see, we didn't get that. So we made our profits from the first push downwards. However, we did not have a valid entry for the second upwards momentum. But if we extend our top zone layer here, we can see that this played out for this week very well. So we could have made a little bit of profit here. What we got from these bottom zones was something like this. So because of rejection from here, I was either looking for some sort of retest again here. We was able to close up above it and we found some sort of support. These valid pin bars would have given me the proper confidence. And what I would be looking for again is some sort of retest up here, and you could have entered on this one here on the breakout of the zone, and you could have done a stop loss ratio like that, and perhaps the top level over here closed out just for the day. Nice 1.17 risk to reward ratio. So you could have entered on that, and you could have potentially made something like 45 pips plus 25 pips, let's just say, something like that. So let's just say around 60 pips you could have made just on this pair alone this week, which is more than enough. So analysis wise, we did predict one scenario, and then the second scenario was a bit mixed in between. So looking onwards then for this week, I'm just going to review what it looks like on the bigger chart. So as we can see, our trend line respected well. We found the price tried to break it, but it was unable, so we got this huge run up. Now I have a potential feeling that because we have reached this zone here, this key zone here, I believe that price is not going to push through this very easily. So I would look for some sort of short bias on this. So looking at this from this angle, so we started to see a bearish engulfing candle on this time frame here, and this is on the top of the zone. So what I want to see in order to make this a valid retest here, and then further down, and then a retest here, and then a push to here. That would be a scenario that I would likely predict. So something like that again. Just a nice 1.67 risk to reward ratio. But like I said, we're waiting for a retest here. That would be my preferred entry, or for the sake of an extra 20 odd pips, look for some sort of key momentum change in this area as well. Now, for us to consider this as a further long, so this would be my first take profit zone. I would completely get out of here, or in this range here, actually, in line with this zone here. So some range here. What I would look for re-entry for a further short is something along the lines of like this again, like a retest and downwards. And we could expect the first take profit zone to be all the way down here, somewhere like that or there. Yeah, so we are looking for a retest on the upwards trend line if we do, and we will that would definitely confirm the further short. However, if we get another break of the trend, and if we don't get any confirmation of a sell sensitivity of this, then we would look upwards. However, I believe this purple line, the thick one, is how big is it? I do believe this is a monthly, yeah. So because this is our monthly, it's gonna be very respectable, and which I believe gives rise to some a lot of sell sensitivity orders in this area here. So we will be looking for some sort of validation in order to get our preferred buy or sell order. So in my prediction, then just to summarize, believe that we will get some sort of short occurring here, something like this, and then perhaps if we are lucky enough, we can get some sort of retest and then get another short here and aim potentially here or here. That would be some scenario. However, obviously price can change. Price action will determine, like I said, where my trades will be going. So don't, like I said, don't just trade blindly. Just match your analysis with mine and see if there is confluence with your trading plan, and hopefully my interpretation makes it a little bit easier. So this is my view of this week's, and we'll follow on next week, see what actually happened, and predict again in the following. So thank you very much for listening, and I'll catch you in the next video.